like to call the regular meeting of the Waterworks and Lighting Commission for October to order. And we have a list of meeting minutes to approve, so we'd like to request approval or amendments to the commission meeting held September 6th.
So move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? And then for the special meeting held on September 6th at 1 p.m.
I move to approve those minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then for the regular commission meeting held September 11th. I have a motion for approval.
I'll move to approve the minutes as written and place on file.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And then for the special committee commission meeting held September 19th, 2024. Motion for approval.
I'll give the motion.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, that's a record, huh?
Yeah, I think so. And then we have an action item. Who's handling the action item, Tyler or Todd?
Me.
Okay. Pretty easy decision there, huh?
Yeah, not much of a getting close race there.
And I saw we got a pretty big, whatever you wanna call it. Don't wanna say kickback.
Patronage, it takes
Patronage.
a number of years to get the patronage back, but I think we just got the 2014, 2015 ERMCO
Oh, really?
patronage retired
Okay.
a couple months ago, so it'll take some time, but that's the typical rate, so.
How can these other folks that justify almost double?
They can't. So,
But somebody's buying them, right? I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
it's like
I imagine they're
the ones in
just-
Texas buy it in Texas, or
When?
the one in North Korea made it.
Yeah, North Korea, that's exactly right, but Irby stopped using the one supplier, the one that John Bergen and I were talking about, just because they wanted a more competitive supplier from North Korea, so they were even, way high, but Border States and Resco were typically always about the same price. But then Eaton bought Cooper, and since Eaton bought Cooper, all the prices have come way up, especially since COVID, like almost doubled. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy. I don't know how they can justify it.
I wonder if they're still behind, Russell's actually caught up now.
It could
Yeah,
be.
right, so
Yeah,
they're-
could be part of that, yeah.
I would entertain a motion to approve the distribution transformer purchase as recommended by Tyler.
I would make that motion to approve Rusco transformers.
I'd second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And just so the public knows that that total is $453,000.
I'm sorry.
No, just for public knowledge.
And eight.
And hey,
And 8 cents, yes.
for
$8.
$8.
And $8. No cents.
No sense.
I don't understand the whole North Korea thing, but that's neither.
I didn't know they manufactured.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah, and I think
for
it's
the
actually,
public record.
I think it's actually South Korea, not North Korea, but it's
Oh,
okay.
still,
That's what
still
I read.
Korea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if we're buying from North Korea, there's a problem. The safety report? Can you discuss a little bit about the fall protection training that I see listed here?
Every year we do an annual fall protection training. Our linemen are using them, basically every day going up in the buckets, and our water department uses them for their confined space entry training as a rescue method, non-entry rescue. So every year, that is, ironically enough, in OSHA's mind, not an annual requirement, but I feel it's important enough and a piece of PPE that affects all of our jobs here from our crews, so I'd like to make sure we go over it. So we do that, and then we go through all of their harnesses and lanyards to do documented inspections on those to ensure everyone's checking the right things over, checking over their equipment. They're supposed to be doing daily pre-use inspections on those, but we like to do a documented one every year as well.
Okay, good. I like that idea.
On your fire extinguisher demo,
Yeah.
do you actually start a fire?
Man, I would really love to, but apparently insurance companies frown upon starting real fires. So we'll just be using the digital bullet system that we have as a trainer. Really cool screens, all set up with lasers, and it's a good time. A lot of employees really love it. The one time we did it here for the open house, the kids absolutely had a blast, so.
Keep a leaderboard for whoever can.
What's that?
Can you keep a leaderboard for whoever can get?
I am keeping a leaderboard this year. We'll have a men's, women's, and kids times to beat because it gives you a time. So yeah, it's generally a very, very good time. It should be a hit.
Okay. The line superintendent's report?
So could you comment on any of the customer problems that?
I mean, it could be a number of things. Usually it's a breaker that they don't know how to reset or can't reset.
Completed municipal conflicts.
The road projects, we're done with all the work for the city work now.
Not really conflicts, they're really just projects, right?
Our polls are in conflict with the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler, electrical engineers report? Any questions for Tyler?
I like your reports, Tyler. It's nice to know what you're working on, what you learn, and how you document it, and hopefully that helps in the future.
I'm also pleased to see that you have some new challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. On this Schweitzer relay recall, did they pick up our labor for taking this thing out and putting it back in?
Nope,
No,
not even shipping.
really.
Yeah.
Should provide them with some substantial harassment on that point.
Probably good, yeah.
I'd certainly let them know what it's cost.
I'll tell our rep.
Yeah.
What's a normal failure rate as opposed to the 0.8%?
On those, I can't even remember the last time we had an issue.
We have hundreds, and the last one we had fail was about 8 years ago. They're the best protective relay in the nation, I can guarantee that. Yeah. And made in the United States. State of Washington.
That's two good things, right?
That's right.
There are no more questions for Tyler, Water Department Operations Report?
Kind of surprised to see that the water level is still going up after it's been fairly dry the last couple of months.
No one can explain that? I was wondering the same thing. I mean,
Takes a
we've
while
got-
to so far. Get in the collector.
So I'm guessing it's because the mild summer, we haven't seen.
Because of
It's the mild summer, we haven't seen weeks of 100-degree weather that would start drying it up, so the water table is staying higher than it normally is. Even though we haven't seen rain in the last couple,
Yeah.
heavy rain last month or so.
You learn anything from the 12th Street break?
The 12th Street in Baker.
Yeah.
Gate valve. That was a leaking gate valve, so they went to operate it. What happens is they have to repack those valves when they start leaking. So when they operate it, the packing will get loose, and then water will start coming up the gate box. So they'll have to dig down to the packing on top of the valve and repack it, put the bolts back on the flange, and then they'll bury it and rehab the road.
And just for clarity, I heard something on the radio discussing the future, I don't know what it is, 28, 29, the lead service replacements or whatever. That's not to the house, right? That's just.
So that's right now looking at everything.
Well, that
So
is
the
looking
the
at
Biden
everything.
administration is looking to pass what they call a 10-year replacement. We haven't heard the official start date. DNR was pegging possibly 27 to 37, but they want all that out if it's public, private, everything. So once that law gets passed, then we'll end up having to push an ordinance through that's gonna force homeowners to change out their lead service on their side as well as what we have to do on our side.
And that calls for an inventory, and I don't know when we have to do our inventory
The
already.
inventory is due October 16th, next week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be published on our website, and so you can look at your address, see what you have. If any of the information is unknown or incorrect, then you call the utility and we update the records and repost it.
So do we know right now how many services there are? Lead services?
We'll have a definite number by next week, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
There are no more questions for Adam. The information systems report.
Matt, I wanted to talk about something that's not actually in the report. There's the bulletin that goes out to the customers, like for open house that we're gonna have.
Quarterly newsletter?
Yeah. And there's a notification section. I'm a online customer, so I don't get any paper from the utility. And there is a notification section in there, but if you go in there, that particular page, when I went to look that day, it said it couldn't be displayed, and I was trying to figure out if that was a problem with it or if it was something that I'm doing a firewall in my house. But more importantly, I was thinking that then the electronic customers are not receiving those notifications. So, you know, if you're sending everything electronic, you get an email that says your bill is going to be due, and you know it's already going to get paid automatically, so you generally don't look. You know, it tells you the dollar amount. Would it be horribly difficult to either send just the electronic customers an email with either a link or the actual bulletin, or just you know, blanket notification that says, you know, we have notifications, please log in and check notifications on your, so
Yeah.
that we would know.
We do have a messenger service through our billing software that it looks at for customers with email addresses and is able to send out emails. We might be able to utilize something like that. Or it might be something we can do direct in Smart Hub.
Do you look into that and report back for next month and see what we can do?
It is in Smart Hub now.
It is.
It
If
is
you
in
log
Smart
in,
Hub.
you should be able to see it. It might not prompt a notification, but it should be
Right.
there. I'll double check when I get back to my desk and make sure it's there. I also usually post it on Facebook with a link to our webpage, if somebody wants to look at it that way.
I'm trying to make it more of a proactive thing where these people who may not, you know, look, unless they're told, hey, there's something to look for.
Mhm. We are looking into Messenger. We're going to look into that in more detail in '25. After we're done with disconnections and the tax roll, we're gonna look to see if we can utilize some of their capability to notify customers that way. We just haven't had a chance to research it yet.
And if it's in Smart Hub, we might be able to look at what can be notified through the app. What
Okay.
notifications can be pushed through the app.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
I assume you saw this recent announcement about this water utility that's been hacked in New Jersey, and,
Nope, I didn't
No?
hear anything about it. And I got a lot of notifications from different agencies, and I haven't heard anything.
well, this is a private company that operates a number of large water utilities.
Okay.
And I think there was more than one of their operations that were attacked, but they cited the one in New Jersey in particular.
Okay.
Like 14 million people are at risk of not having water or whatever. So you should look into that.
I have to see what happened, yeah. I'm kind of surprised there wasn't any notifications that came through. Of course, if it's a private company, we might not have heard about it, because most of the stuff we hear about is through a government notification system.
I think
So
the
it's
issue
municipal.
was, and I don't know if I read what you read, it was like a parent company.
Okay.
And the parent company got hacked, and then they got into there, and they went down and got into the utility that way. That's what I'm thinking about. And we know that's a larger exposure, and
Right.
so, but, you know, I think it's always good to,
Yeah, it's kind of strange that I hadn't heard anything about it, so I'll have to check.
You do a
Look for
web
some-
search, you'll find it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll look for some news articles on that.
If not, I can forward it to you. If there are no more questions for Matt, just one more?
One last question. I saw, you finished the Access Point project.
Correct.
Everything, you feel happy with that? You're better analytics, is the throughput
Yeah, still
or
poking through
response?
the analytics, trying to figure out what the reports are actually telling me, but I did fix one error already that it was a configuration error with DNS that was a problem that I didn't know about. So I found that. And everything's Wi-Fi 6 now, so. Of course, Wi-Fi 7's coming out, so it's hard to keep up.
All right, good.
Let's move on then to the key accounts conservation manager report.
Looks like you were busy, Sean.
Actually, looks like transparency worked out well, right?
It did. It gave me an opportunity to discuss other things, see if the customers needed help, and found quite a few things with those 10 customers. So it was a good thing, and it was very well received.
No pushback.
None at all, and not many questions. So definitely a good thing.
It looks like it filled your plate here for a while.
Yes.
Link One Potato, is that drying facility?
Yes, over by behind Quick Trip there.
Yeah.
In the West Side Industrial, yes. Typically what they do there is dog food products.
Right.
With fillers, cranberries, potatoes, yeah. We also did reach out to 2 smaller customers, and kind of how we did that was, we looked at anything over that 200 kW on up, CP2, CP3, CP4. However, there were 2 customers, Aspirus and the Village of Buren, that were small power. And we reached out to them. Aspirus needed to know about it right here at the clinic, and the Village of Buren had multiple meters at that CP1 rate. So because they're a municipality, we felt it was important to reach out to them as well.
It's kind of surprising that Aspirus doesn't already have a backup, isn't it?
Yes, and in my conversation with them, they were in the process of that anyway, having that, those generators. And so he stated that this may be another reason you can put on the list to get that project completed over there.
Any further contact at Warehouse, Wisconsin?
No, WOW reached out to him multiple times. That has always been the trend with them. Did talk to him this week and then asked about their rates. They were sent a rate change classification letter and brought it up again in she just took the message and was gonna have them contact me back, but, that was the only customer we weren't able to reach.
No more questions for Sean. Can we move to the customer support supervisor's report?
Thanks for facilitating that landlord and tax roll panel.
Oh, yeah.
What was the story on the planned power outage? What was that all about?
There's a squirrel that created an outage a few weeks ago that we had to de-energize the circuit to repair it.
Any questions for Lynn? If not, can we move to the chief financial officer report? Any questions for Jeff?
Just that nice Resco dividend.
That was a nice check. We got a call to make sure that was the right amount, 'cause it was pretty substantial compared to prior years, so.
So your crew is gonna get a chance to use the fuel card?
And they took it with them and we verified that it's gonna work. As long as there's fuel on the way down, they'll be okay, so.
Oh, yeah. We switched from Quick Trip with a K to Quick Trip with a Q, once you get so far down, right?
so,
I don't know if they have any association
I
or.
don't think they do.
How long are they expected to be down there?
2 weeks.
Okay. Is this as far north as are being sent down there, or?
And the Midwest is down there, or right now headed that way. Minnesota's down there now.
Okay.
I think they said 37 states right now.
Wow, okay.
They're gonna need it.
Yeah. You know, well, I don't know. If FEMA orders a bunch of transformers or, you know, or poles or, you know.
I don't think FEMA orders that stuff. I think they may reimburse them when they're done.
Yeah.
A year later.
Yeah, but I just didn't know, you know, they know
They
there's gonna
don't
be
get
all this
involved with
damage,
that,
right? I
yeah.
mean, are they already sending, or, you know, the municipalities maybe are getting their inventories.
Right. But where is that inventory? I mean, think about all the ones they're
Yeah,
gonna lose.
is it in a warehouse that's gonna float away, you know?
Well, I know like Resco has kind of like emergency trailers and stockpiles that they can do, so I'm assuming other states kind of have the same thing ready for them, and they're probably more used to it in Florida than we are, that they
Yeah,
can
Florida's got it figured out.
do what they need to do.
Can't imagine if FEMA were to be the responsible party, that it would be very efficient. Any questions on the finances? Cash flow is lagging last year quite a bit, huh?
A little bit, but we've had some accounts payable are up well over $1 million, just because of some of the projects and the one bucket truck that came through, so some of the costs are kind of taking away some of that additional revenue that we're receiving this year.
How much impact is ATC on that?
So in '24, there's not a huge amount. I mean, you can see the dividends actually a little bit higher and the capital calls a little bit lower this year, so that's not too much. So we'll see that more in '26, '27 is gonna be the bigger impacts when their capital calls are gonna be higher if they stick to the plan.
Any other questions for Jeff? If not, to the general manager's report. Todd? Anything happening as it relates to Quitco?
We had a really good meeting, Jeff, with Marty and Rochelle, and we just wanted to open that door between our two companies because there's synergies there. So we're gonna probably have some future meetings as well with maybe their IT staff and their engineering staff. And they actually had some questions also on the craft mill that I helped answer, so that was good. So it was a great meeting, actually.
They know anything about their future?
Well, they're keeping the filter plant, but the filter plant's, powered through the boiler house. And so they were asking some ideas there, because how are they gonna rip down the whole main part of the power, and recovery area and then still keep power to the filter plant. So kind of helped that in the 90s, I rebuilt that whole power system, so I had some answers with that. So that was good. But yeah, they don't know what the space is gonna look like in the future. They just know it'll be tore down and empty in that area. But they wanted to keep the water plant, because if they do get a customer that needs water, then they have that there.
Right.
Yeah.
I assume they're supplying Sunoco now, right?
Right, yeah.
Any other questions for Todd? If not, any questions on accounts payable?
It was just that, the bill, large bill for that bucket truck.
And that was not all of it. And earlier in the year, we had about a $90,000 payment for the chassis. So the total truck was about $272,000, which still came in under the budget we had back then, was $275. So that was nice to have in the garage now.
After how long? How long?
Just short of 3 years, I think.
3 years?
Oh, 3 years?
In December would have been the 3rd year.
If there are no more questions on accounts payable, I want to back up one. I see we harvested some lumber, and I also know that we've reforested in the past. Does this require any reforestation?
No, this is just a select cut, so it's thinning out all the small stuff.
Okay.
So the reforestation, that's over by Red Rock, where that was mostly fields.
There are no other questions on the accounts payable? I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Matt, I see both CBS and MSA